Hey guys, welcome to part 2 of English has two kinds of verbs. In this video, I want to show you how questions are different between the two kinds of verbs. So with questions in English, we have essentially two ways to ask questions. One is to use the auxiliary verb do. For example, do you want to buy it? Where do they want to go, etc. Or another way is to change the word order. For example, where are you from? Not where you are from, but where are you from? Or what are they doing, right? So two ways. One is ask questions with the verb do, or we just change the word order. So how do we know the difference? Well, we see the differences again, the two kinds of verbs. One is modal verbs or be verbs, which is my name. And the other one is do verbs, verbs that use the auxiliary do, right? The modal verbs are really simple. It's to be, will, should, can, etc. And then do verbs are 90% of all verbs. Be verbs, the modal verbs, always change the word order. Always. Am I, will I, could I, should I. Now, with the do verbs, we've got do for I, you, we, they. Okay? Now again, look again about the modal verbs, because this is where people have the biggest problems. Is in they ask questions with the modal verbs, only changing the intonation, changing tone of voice. Now this is a problem because in 90% of other languages in the world, questions are extremely simple. You just change the intonation. For example, you are Irish. You are Irish? But in English, it always must be are you, right? Must you, will you, should you, could you. This is the fundamental part. This is what I want you to learn and to understand about how the modal verbs are different from the rest of the verbs, okay? Here are more examples. Where are you from? Can you help me? Would you like to meet me? Should they be doing that? Etc. But in every case, you can see the modal verb, the word order is changing, okay? With I, you, we, they, you need the auxiliary verb do. Do I, need, want, etc., right? With he, she, or it, you need the auxiliary verb does. Does he send? And without the S, does he need to go? Not does he needs. This is incorrect. In the past tense, we have here, for example, you wanted to buy it. The negative will be you didn't want to buy it. And then the question will be, did you want to buy it? Okay? So always be careful about that there. Now, in the present, we have do for I, you, we, they, and does for he, she, it. In the past, with questions, we can use did with I, you, we, they, he, she, and it. It's very simple. Okay? Now, when you have a modal verb in the past, for example, the verb to be in the past, you must always remember the modal verbs will use not in the negative. I wasn't, I was not. And then you would change the word order. Was I busy? I was there last night. Was I? Get there? Changing the word order. Now remember, English has two kinds of verbs. We have the modal verbs and we have the do verbs. The first difference is how we form the negative of the verb. Be verbs use the word not, and do verbs use don't, doesn't, or didn't, depending on the situation. This is the fundamental part about English grammar that you need to learn. This is the first step, the first idea that's so important, and a lot of students have problems with it, particularly with the negative in the beginning or with questions. Remember, the second difference is how we form questions. Be verbs change the word order. Do verbs use do, does, or did, depending on the situation. Okay guys, I hope this was helpful and useful for you. I will see you guys in the next video when I'm going to talk about differences between present simple and present continuous.